My name is Brian Austin Gray. This is 9 generations of Gray's farmer. Brian comes from a long life of farmers.
Too oftentimes, I think the voices of the people you love so much are not heard.
My name is Connor. I'm 21.
What do you always say when people keep talking? What was I saying?
Blah, blah, blah.
Brian, like many men, thinks his mother is a little too involved in his life, and I don't disagree. Right?
Yes. A little bit.
I think AFAM gives everyone a voice.
We're just trying to be a voice for all families in Massachusetts.
Being involved with AFAM has been one of the best experiences of my adult life.
It's some of the most rewarding work that I've done.
The areas that AFAM focuses on are ones that are really important to me.
You meet some of the really best people you'll ever meet in your life. So
all politics is local, and people don't really understand how much impact they have when they participate in the process. Advocates for Autism of Massachusetts. AFAM is a coalition of 14 organizations, 7 autism support centers that are all in part funded by DDS, Department of Developmental Services, and 7 advocacy groups who all advocate on behalf of families and individuals impacted by an autism spectrum disorder.
you can never have too many people advocating.
What I love most about AFAM is we sit around a table every month and we share our different priorities. We all work together and we compromise.
We have probably about 8 priority bills this year that we're working on. Being at the State House, it's truly an honor to represent AFAM and to represent families like my own. And I also feel like our presence there is getting stronger.
We have one strong voice for state advocacy.
We've had a really busy hearing season where so many folks from AFAM, parents, self-advocates, professionals that support people with autism have come, taken the time out of their day and testified in front of committees around these really, really important bills.
Massachusetts is a leader in the country on this, and while we have so much to do, there's so many wins and positive things that we've done.
It's exciting now because we have a real presence that we didn't have before at the State House, and we've had some really wonderful achievements in terms of legislation. But one of the really important supports for anybody with autism is that community of people who are going to, do the hard work of advocating with their government about what needs to happen.
That is like hugely motivating to me that we have this community. We can send out an email and we can get thousands of people to respond to their legislators, to do call-in days. I mean, the power behind that is huge. So I think AFAM is set to really make an enormous impact.
The whole origination of Nikki's Law is due to Cheryl Chan from my district, who actually came to me with that issue, and that gave us the inspiration for working with AFAM, the ARC, and everyone to draft Nikki's Law and hopefully get it passed.
Nikki's Law, which I hope will be passed by the end of the year, which will set up a registry of individuals who have been found to have abused people, so agencies will have an avenue to do better background checks before hiring people.
It's critically important for families to have the trust in our system, to know that someone who's abused another individual isn't going to be able to work again in that area. So we're in a true workforce shortage crisis, and it affects families, it affects programs, and it affects the individuals with autism. My son takes a while to bond with someone. He has a lot of needs they have to learn, his medications, his behaviors. It takes time, and those people end up turning over in the field way too quickly.
What staff are being paid, these people are not being paid enough. They're doing difficult work, and we need to get their rates raised.
And they just don't have a whole lot of incentives to stay in the field. So this is our big priority now, is really to try to work on increasing the rates of pay for direct care professionals so we can keep them in the field, give them some incentives to grow in the field, and really get a much stronger workforce.
You know, when our kids are little, we speak for them on everything. As Connor's gotten older, we've talked about the importance of his voice being heard.
Please join me in welcoming Connor Farrell.
Good morning. That was the day I gave a speech. It was about the Macy program.
My name is Connor Farrell. I am a freshman at Salem State and participate in the Macy program. It was my dream to go to college, but I didn't know if it was possible.
We went to the State House. It's a really big house.
That's what's so cool about Macy. It allows me to attend college like everyone else. I enjoy being in a class with a bunch of students with and without disabilities. It's important to be included.
I was nervous at first, but then it turned out to not be such a big deal, because my family has confidence in me.
Autism Advocacy Day is a day that happens every April at the State House.
The self-advocates are an important part of that process. We need them involved to help us.
It is absolutely fabulous that there are young people with autism who can, do something like going to the State House and speaking to a huge crowd, which for any person is a huge challenge. There are also people there who are having a really hard time being there because of the space and their challenges. But you want people to see folks across the spectrum so they understand, because the needs can be really very different. People think they may have mastered what autism might look like in an adult, but they're just seeing one slice.
There's an old saying, when you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism.
There's a lot that we can do in the way we deliver services and the way we shape environments to help everybody fit into our communities.
It's not just one group that is being heard at the State House.
The stories are so powerful, and that's what we just have to keep telling.
It does impact lives.
My son cannot advocate for himself.
My sons need someone to speak for them.
It's really important that parents and siblings and others are involved who really know their family members best and can basically translate.
The greatest thing about advocating for the needs of the autism community is being able to tell our stories to the legislature, to policymakers, and really make that impact and see that impact.
Whereas persons with autism should have access to appropriate services throughout their lifetime so that they may achieve their greatest potential and lead happy and productive lives within their communities. Therefore, I, Charles D. Baker, Governor of the Commonwealth, do hereby proclaim the month of August 2015 to be Autism Awareness Month and urge all citizens of the Commonwealth.
I have a 21-year-old son named Sam who has autism, and he actually came and spoke at a hearing on expanding employment opportunities for people with autism. And he was so thrilled, so excited to come into the State House to sit at a hearing in front of legislators. And the legislator who organized the hearing, whose bill he was testifying about, gave my son a citation afterwards about having the courage to come in and speak. My son asked for it to be framed, and he's now put it on the wall in his dormitory. And now every time somebody comes into his room, the first thing he says is, "Come look at my citation. I testified at the State House about expanding employment opportunities for people with autism." He's so proud of himself and has so much more self-esteem and self-confidence. As his mother, it makes me so thrilled to see him achieving beyond my wildest dreams and being able to have the opportunity to come in and speak for other people who may not have the same voice.
And Brian and I went, and Brian told his story, and Senator Barrett said, "You know what, Brian, you should be able to go to college," right?
Yeah, thanks.
So through a lot of hard work and a lot of support through special education departments, our superintendent, the legislature, AFAM, Brian was able to go to college, right?
Yes.
I worked at the Marsh Dining Hall. It was at Salem State University. I made desserts.
Well, Brian, proud of you.
Well, I'm proud of myself.
Excellent, you should be.
Congratulations to AFAM on your 15th anniversary.
It's been great to work with AFAM. Congratulations on your 15th anniversary. It's been a pleasure working with you on Nikki's Law and also the Police Training Autism Bill. And if we get there through this session, it's going to be due to your advocacy and support. Thank you.
And what's that after blah, blah, blah? Enough of the what?
Blah, blah, blah. Enough of the yakking.